Yeah, I could do that, but y'all, I just can't do it on YouTube. YouTubers, there we go. There we go. Ha ha. All right. Lights, cameras, action. Wait, let me get my thing up here. Wait, where'd my picture go? Welcome to Mercury retrograde. There we go. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Mercury retrograde. It's a pleasure, isn't it? Let's see. Make sure up. Here comes some more friends. Amanda and Liz. Hello, Liz. Hello, Amanda. You probably can't hear me. Welcome to the Patreon platform. And hello, everybody. Satnam. Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman, here with you today. June 30th, 2020. And this is 2020. Remember that show? How y'all doing? Hi, Lori. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Danette. Carolina, Jacqueline, Miriam, Tony, Billy, Hannah, my little beautiful niece. Hello, Hannah. What did I tell you about watching my videos, Hannah? I told you not to watch my videos. I told you, but I love you anyway. Let me get my notes here. So again, my name is Spiritman Joseph. Be sure to subscribe down below on my YouTube. If you are on YouTube, and my Patreons on my Patreon page, Awaken Your Spirit Community. Thank you so much for your love and support. It helps me to be able to do much more of this and a lot less of the other things, and allowing me to teach and do so much more. And I am so grateful for that. But yeah, YouTube people, be sure to subscribe down below. Make sure you click the little bell. Make sure you click all so that you get notifications. Come back in and make sure you check from time to time to ensure that you are getting your notifications, because apparently on YT, which is the platform we're on right now, YouTube, they love to unsubscribe people and not unsubscribe, but take away notifications. And I see it every single time I come on here. People are like, I didn't get a notification. I didn't get a notification. I posted this hours ago, everywhere. It had to be out. Yeah, hours and hours ago. I tried to post it as early as I possibly could. Usually I do my energy reports in the beginning of the month, the first of the month, but tomorrow is the first of the month. So I figured I'd knock it out so I could get this out in my newsletter. Visit my website at josephtittel.com so that you can be a part of that newsletter. Everybody hears me good, I believe. So thank you for that. Thank you to all my people here from all over the world, the United States, Canada, Europe, UK. I've had some people in Germany, Australia, just everywhere, Africa, South Africa. It's awesome, and I'm just so freaking grateful. So energy report. I do it every month. I try to do it every month. And today, we'll talk about July 2020. And this is July 2020. So, for all y'all that don't follow me or don't know much of my work, I'll give you a little touch base on that, or folks that are behind my videos and updates. Hello from Montreal. Hello there. Today is July 1st. We are in the Mercury retrograde direct energy. And I don't have the date in front of me when it started. I forget already. I think it started around the 18th. I'll tell you in a second. Of June. Started on the 16th of June, my bad. And we are in this direct retrograde energy until, oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong calendar, my bad. 17th, started on the 17th, close enough. And we're in it until the 12th of July. We're in this whole entire energy cycle. They're 7 to 8 weeks long, and we are in it until the 26th of July. But July 4th is when we go into that new moon cycle. It just also so happens to be a, is there an eclipse on July 4th? I think there's an eclipse on July 4th. I forget now. The third eclipse. We just had one on the new moon. And it's the third eclipse. It's July 4th. And we go into the full moon. And minutes after, and for some places like the East Coast, I believe it's July 5th, technically. On the East Coast, because it's 3 hours behind. It's a 3 hour difference. Actually, I'll bring up the exact time of that. because I forget the exact time. So what happens is when we're in an energy cycle, which starts with the pre-shadow Mercury retrograde, and we go into the direct retrograde energy, we go into on the full moon that occurs during the retrograde cycle, we go into the energy shift. The energy shift is basically, and it starts at 9:44 p.m. here on the Pacific coast of the United States, Pacific time, which is 12:44 a.m. on the 5th of July. So even still, it's the day before, and I do believe without a doubt that there's going to be a lot going on that particular day, July 4th. I've talked about it before in my other videos. I even did a video specifically on the United States in the energy. It is Independence Day. What they're trying to do, without a doubt, is to rip apart our independence, to let it go, to rip off our freedoms, our constitutional rights. Because the United States upholds it as the country in the whole entire world that does so. The dark Illuminati cabal and their sick, demented minds believe that ripping apart the United States from the inside out is the best way of taking full control and taking away all freedoms all over the globe. That's not cool, folks. That's not cool at all. It's really not cool at all. So with that, we go into the energy shift, which basically, again, is a wave of energy, a tsunami of energy that our divine creator sends across the planet Earth to awaken humanity. And we are in energy shifts constantly. Obviously it does, but this is different. This is based on astrological influence. This is based on the retrogrades and the moon cycles. I'm not an astrologer, but I do follow retrograde cycles and all that, but we got a lot of stuff in retrograde, the Venus and the Mars and all this other stuff that's happening. Some of that kicks in really strong on the 7th of July. That's going to bring in a lot of intensity, folks. And I know you're feeling it. I mean, I've been feeling it. I mean, I feel everything. Sadly, that's the sad part about being an empath and medium. But the thing is I know you're feeling it. These energy cycles, especially when we go into the shift on July 4th, is all about one thing only. It's all about bringing up stuff, bringing it up, bringing it out, bringing it to the forefront. Truth, energy, emotions, all kinds of guck, all kinds of crap. And it's a poopy time, I must say, without a doubt, especially when we go into July 4th and July 5th, depending on where you're at in the country. And I mean, that might even start earlier in other parts of the world. Because again, it's 9:44 p.m. on Pacific time of the United States. And I know it would be much earlier in places like Sweden. I have friends in Sweden. I think they're 8 hours ahead of us, 8 or 9 hours ahead of us. So for them, they're ahead of us. So yeah, I could get my timing off, but you understand what I mean. So just kind of look at what time it is for the full moon for you coming up in July. It's either the 4th, the 5th, I mean, maybe the 3rd, places like my followers and friends in Japan, which I appreciate greatly. So with that, that's when the energy shift comes in. The energy shifting, but that tsunami wave comes in literally a minute after we go into the full moon phase during Mercury retrograde. And it's big and it's huge. And it's all about bringing out the truth. You know, back, I guess maybe a year or so ago, when they had all those trials going on for the president, and that I forget what the guy's name, I don't follow political stuff, testified, and people were like, oh, he's lying. I was doing a retrograde and an energy shift. And I told people, I'm like, he's not lying, because if he is, we'll know within 48 hours. You can't lie during an energy shift. You just can't. You'll never get away with it. It will come out, usually by the end of the day, but 48 hours tops. And I mean, I guess if we really wanted to push it, it would come out by the time that energy cycle part of the shift is over, which ends for us 10:33 a.m. on July 20th, which is the new moon here on the Pacific coast. So again, you can figure that out for yourself. So a minute before that, 10:32 a.m. on July 20th, the new moon, is when we come out of it. And that's the energy shift itself. Even though we're in it, and the intensity of this shift is going to be from July 4th to July 12th. That's when it's going to be really, really off the friggin' wall, folks. Off the wall. I mean, and you feel it already. The whole world feels it. People that aren't in the United States can feel like just in the United States alone can feel the energy. It's crazy. It's bizarre. It's just all wild. You know, and I talked about this a very long time ago. I talked about this back in 2009, all the way into 2012 when I said we were in this, you know, the awakening's coming. I saw people protesting in the streets throughout the world, which happened. But then I talked about, you know, United States that hasn't happened yet. What's happening now? It's happening now on a huge scale. So this is all about, again, getting rid of things, and a lot of emotional stuff comes up. If you don't face your emotional stuff, the illness, disease that's connected to that emotion will follow. And that'll follow when we come out of that shift in July, which will be, again, the 26th. So you'll see a lot of people end up in the hospitals, a lot of people sick, even if it's the flu or, you know, a cold, whatever. Depends on how much emotion they got going on and how much they're working with that emotion. But you'll see that start to happen. You'll start to see it happen probably by the 4th, but more likely you'll start to see it happen around the 20th on the new moon as we get to the 31st of July. Then we go into August. And then when we get to August, that's when we go into the new moon rebirth cycle. It's kind of technically two. There's one on the 20th of July, but really the true rebirth cycle is on the 18th of August. That's when we go into an amazing cycle of manifesting and making things happen. So with that, if you have anything that you want to get rid of, and I really, really encourage you to embrace this energy. I encourage you to do things to embrace it and, you know, bring it upon the universe to assist you by doing simple things like clean out the closet. You know, take your clothes, put them in a bag, make sure you donate them to charity. No matter how much you might not think somebody will want that shirt or pants, believe me, there's somebody out there that will take it and be glad to and be grateful to. You can initiate transformation, change, and shift in your own personal life just by doing things like that. Starting to clean up the clutter. If you have a habit that you want to get rid of, whether it be smoking or drinking or sex, or you have something else you want to get rid of, like, you know, like a friendship or a husband or a wife, this is the time to do it. Especially now we're in it, we're in that retrograde direct, but especially when we get to the 4th. And when we get from the 4th to the 20th, if you don't do it, you're going to be forced out of it. It's pretty simple. And you don't want to be forced out of things at all whatsoever. So with that, we have some things that came across me that I wanted to talk to you in the way of predictions. Because I talked about predictions in the last video that I did. A lot of them, a lot of stuff came through with that. And that's something I want to touch base on real quick before I move further. And those that are just joining us, my name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman. Be sure to subscribe down below if you are on YouTube and be a part of. Let me go back here. Debbie got booted. Debbie got booted. Debbie got booted. There you go, girls. I don't know what happened to y'all. It's Mercury retrograde. I am also on my Patreon page in my Zoom platform for my Patreons. And the Awakening Your Spirit platform, which I appreciate all of y'all. So I wanted to go back to that. So when I did that video, when I went back into the video on the tidal wave, it's so funny how all these other so-called psychics run out there and hurry up, put out this big wave's coming. This big wave is coming. And one of them even had enough guts to email me and Facebook me their predictions with the link to their website. And you know who you are, because I know you're watching, because I know you all follow everything I do. I am now taking legal action against anybody that copies my stuff. Period. That's the route that I have to go, because it's pretty obvious when I put something out there and literally within 48 hours, these other people hurry up and put out the same information. No more. Everything that I talk about is totally copyrighted information in these videos, and nothing can be copied, shared without permission. Of course, all my followers can share these videos and such, but yes. So moving on, I had to get that out. It was bugging the crap out of me. So last video, I talked about a lot of things, and it might come up again, but I was writing stuff down today. It was coming through to me, and I'll just go across the list. So Washington, D.C. I just almost said the wrong word for fire. I almost said the F word, but it was supposed to be fire, not the F word. Sorry. Humor, people. Have some humor. Y'all can hear me good, right? Everybody can hear me? Let's let Rose back in the room. Because every time I do this, somebody on YouTube leaves comments. Oh, I can't hear you. Your voice is too low. That is your devices, people. My equipment is totally perfectly arranged, aligned, and perfect. So check your device. Washington, D.C., fires, Philadelphia, FEMA camps. I wrote down all kinds of things I want to touch base with you today. So like I said, everything comes up during these shifts energetically. Stuff comes up emotionally, energetically, physically, which means that there's stuff that comes up for our dear Mother Earth, who is literally the mother of all. We would not survive without her. The waters of the earth are the blood of the earth. We can't survive without the blood of Mother Earth. The emotions, everything. So Mother Earth is going to be doing some major releasing coming up, major releasing. And again, I said it and touched base on, I said it back in January 1st, but earthquake activity. And I mean, I said it, I don't know how long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and then look what happened with Mexico. I think it was a day after I said it and did a live video. Mexico had a big earthquake, 7.0 or something along those lines, or 7.7, 7.7. Thank you, Spirit. But that's nothing in comparison to what we're going to see. We've seen the highest one being, what, 8.0 for Japan. We're going to be breaking records with that coming up over the next 2 years, but we're going to start to see that coming up this month in July. Little earthquakes. Philadelphia came up to me a lot. So did New York City. And again, think of Philadelphia. Philadelphia in the United States, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, because there's a couple of Philadelphias. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm from that area, is where the Constitution was written and signed. It is where the freedom began. It is where the Liberty Bell is. It's where it all started. The next closest thing to that would actually be New York City. New York City is where all the immigrants came into this country, to the United States. So, I mean, you can actually even put New York City above that. If you look, and I just looked at this today because in Arizona here, which is a Republican state, by the way, as is Florida, they did this whole put the masks back on your face, the whole disease virus thing that's going on. Put the mask back on the face. They're bad people, they're bad governors. They're making this disease bigger than it is. And, New York is just the heart of the devil, just like Washington, D.C. I mean, there's a devil heart in every city and state. But these are the places, again, New York City, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C. And they're not Republican states, by the way, that I'm aware of. Pretty sure they're Democratic states, Democratic governors anyway, whereas Arizona is a Republican. And this has nothing to do with political structures, folks, by the way, because it's another thing that somebody sent me a message. Oh, we have the same thinking, or we're on the same line spiritually and politically. I don't have a political thinking mind other than I don't do politics. I just do predictions and I do information. And to me, they're all corrupt. There's bad in all of them. And when I mention anything to do with President Trump, I'm going to go back right to what I said in 2016. He's a part of the prophecy. There are the trumpets blowing in the Bible. That has nothing to do with me supporting him. I support him as the president because I'd support Hillary if she was the president too, just as being my president, hoping that they do the best they possibly can. Doesn't mean I like them. So let's get that clear and straight. But we're not going to go in a political realm here. We're going to go on the realm of the states that are going to be hit and that are being hit and affected. So again, New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. They're the three big ones. Florida. And then when we come over to the West Coast, you got California, Arizona, a couple of those, and then Texas. I forgot about Texas. How can I forget Texas, which is also a Republican state? Texas, I can't remember what other states they just did this whole thing where, the media, the fake media, is controlled and owned, most of it by Ted, whatever the hell his name is. What's his name? Ted, I can't remember his name. But they're all owned by the same corporations. Two of them, two corporations own all the media. And you see all the same stuff in all the same media. They are the controllers. They control humanity because people watch the fake news. And it's interesting all about that. So all this is happening right now. We're in this shift. They're saying how bad the virus is spiking up along the countries, along this country, and probably other countries too. And it's going to continue. And anybody that supports the United States is going to be at the center of the media outlets as well. And just because the media outlets here in the United States are owned by two of the biggest people, richest billionaires, they're owned in other countries by the same billionaires, same corporations, same companies. So takes me back to Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York were on my list that I wrote down today. And I already told you all about New York. And I see a lot of people say about the wave coming that's going to be hit. That I predicted back in 2012 that New York City would be underwater. And people in my page and YouTube are like, well, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's metaphoric. And it's being hit with a wave of stuff. I agree, but disagree. They already got hit with a wave of stuff in New York City. When I say New York City is going to be underwater, I said this a long time ago. I said this over 10 years ago. It's going to be underwater. I don't necessarily believe that's coming this year, and I really hope not. We have enough to deal with in the United States, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. And I guarantee you, hopefully, again, it don't happen this year, but November is what I was thinking. Oh, excuse me. It will hit by 2025. And to be exact in years, it'll either be 2023 or 2025. Being all this stuff came up on me recently, I'm thinking it's coming soon. But yeah, of course, they're going to get hit with a wave. So this takes me to why I brought up Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, for starters. Los Angeles is another one. Vegas, of all places, Las Vegas, Nevada, and other cities. But these are the top cities and where chaos is about to break out. And, I don't watch news. I don't pay attention to any of it. But, I'll go on Twitter or Instagram and see video clips, especially on the Twitter. And it blows my mind what's happening still in the United States. And I agree with a lot of people. Like, why is the president not doing anything? The president's doing something, but not on a forward front that you can see or witness. And you could trust me on that one. Like, something's happening and he's planning something. No doubt about it. But at the same time, you still have the opposite side very much planning too. To hit this, take this out of the ballpark come October, November. But let's go back to July and the energy report for July. So yes, they're going to try to bring back everything from March and April. They already are. They're trying to bring it back up. There will be states that will go back on shutdown. And there will be a big fight over this. A big fight over this. I mean, I look at the state I'm in, Arizona. And this town that I live in, Sedona, there was never a rule about masks. Never. And they just went into place earlier in the week, I think Friday night. And I'm sorry, but you can believe what you want, but I refuse. I'm healthy. My immune system's up to par. I wash my hands and I have proper hygiene the way it should be. And I don't feel like if I want to run into the store and buy something that I need to throw a mask on my face. It blocks off your oxygen, period. It's a fact. Your oxygen levels go down. You're breathing in carbon monoxide. And, I have to do what I have to do when I go to the grocery store, but that's just me. That's my opinion. You have your opinion. You don't need to leave comments down below to tell me about it because I really don't care. That's my opinion. And that's also truth of the fact of the matter. There's a reason why they're doing this. Covering up your face is covering you up and keeping you enslaved. It's blocking off your ability to breathe. It's all metaphoric and ceremonial in the way of black magic and the deep state cabal's Luciferians. That's what it's about. So you can believe what you want, but I know what I know, and I know what they do, and I know their symbolism. If you go and look up ancient Sabbats from the Satanists and Luciferians, Mass is a big Sabbat. It's a big ritual that they started. And it got real big when spring equinox. Equinoxes and solstices are times of the year where they do ritual and ceremony. I do my ritual and ceremony around the equinoxes and solstices. Good and bad, positive, negative, same thing. That's what they're doing. It's exactly what they're doing. So you're going to see that. You're going to see more states start to go on shutdown. Which states? Not sure. Arizona is resistant, and they're only doing it to shut up everybody else. The governor is with the mask thing. You know what it is, what it is. Now, if I have to go out and go grocery shop, I'll wear a mask just to go grocery shopping. But when you see somebody driving down the road with all their windows and their air conditioning on, and they have a mask on, and you look over and you're like, what the hell is the sense of that? It makes no sense to me. You know, wash your hands, by the way. I saw that today when I went to the restaurant. Somebody came in, couple, and no disrespect, but the dude's hair was so dirty and greasy, but he had a mask on, and I'm like, maybe you should take a bath and wash your hands, because you're going to touch that dirty mask with your hands and you're going to spread germs. I mean, it just blows my mind. Actually, do I have it with me? I don't have it in my pocket. The mask that I have, a dear student of mine sent me, and they're all sealed in little packages. So the one time that I used it, I opened up the little sealed package, put it on my face. When I'm done, I throw it right in the trash, which is a waste to Mother Earth, by the way. So New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Let me move over to fires. Part 2. Fires are going to break out. Fire is all about abolishing, dissolving, burning away the karma, burning away the bad. And it's happening already. Cities are burning. You have not seen anything in comparison to what's going to happen with cities burning. Mark my words, come fall, come November 11th, you're going to see things burn that you've never seen burn before. In cities, you haven't seen skyscrapers burn. You see stores and stuff burn. What about a skyscraper burning? What about them bum rushing the White House and trying to get in? What about them having to get the president out in an emergency? Whoever that may be by then. I know it'll be Trump. I've been saying that for a long time. If it's not, then it's definitely rigged or fixed. But regardless, who ends up being president, chaos is going to break out come November 11th at the latest. It's going to actually happen right after the election, which is what, the 2nd or the 4th? When is the election? I think it's the 2nd or the 4th. I should know this, but I forget already. November 2nd? 3rd. I was close. I was in between. I missed out. So November 3rd, which is going to be a 7-day. And 6, yeah, I wouldn't doubt. Yeah, it'll be that day. I'm sure it will. Or actually by the 4th, depending on where you live. So that's where my fires come in. But speaking of fires, there's fires burning too, like here in Arizona and Tucson, and the whole mountainsides in Tucson, Arizona are on fire. It's dry. They're drying everything out. It's now June 20th. It hasn't rained here in Sedona, Arizona since maybe March. Months. Hasn't rained in months. And I know I live in the desert, you know, partially. I actually live in the canyons, not the desert, but it's desert canyons. But they're drying everything out, and then on the East Coast, they're wetting it all down and molding it all up and making it filled with mold. So fires, lots of fires, but not just in the United States, folks. I'm talking worldwide. Germany kept coming up a lot, and I had somebody in my comments, my followers on YouTube, ask about Germany and ask me things about Germany. And yes, Germany is going to have major issues. My pin video. There we go. Why do I see other people's video? Please, on my Patreon page, turn off your video if your video is on. There we go. I did it for you. Yeah, so Germany and that evil witch, whatever her name is, her and Hillary should go out shopping for new brooms together. Sorry. The new Hoover fast super speed broom. But yeah, something's going on around her, and she might even resign or get let go of or something along those lines. Stuff's coming up with the Pope, and I said this back in 2012, and I got thrashed back like never before. When I mentioned anything about the Catholic Church collapsing and falling, and the Pope resigning, and the new Pope being the final Pope and being evil, man, did I get thrashed back for that. Well, guess what? I was right, wasn't I? I was right. The other guy resigned, got out of the evil. This guy they have now is evil. I grew up Catholic. I know all about it. That is your heart of Lucifer right there. The heart of the Luciferian control and enslavement is within the Vatican in Italy. That's falling. You're going to see major stuff come up with that Pope. Major truths are going to be revealed, but the media will try to cover it up. The media won't even put it out there because they don't want you to know, but it's going to get out through social media networks. And in social media networks, the news and media are going to have to do something to try to cover it up, which they will. But again, the awakening is here. Folks are awakening. The last shift we had in February and March and April. Actually, February, March, I was right the first time. March, especially. People have awakened. Look at what happened to, what's his name? A lot of people, actually, but banned from all the platforms. Totally deleted their YouTube pages. David Icke, because he told that the truth. He got the truth out there. And they're saying, no, they banned him because he's a liar. How many liars are on YouTube? How many phonies are on YouTube? Just look up a few psychics. I could show you some of their mug shots. They're not deleting their channels. Actually, they did delete one of their channels. The one that like really stalked me and harassed me. Deleted her channel. But they put her on a new channel. Or she created a new channel. That'll be taken down too. So fires, winds came up a lot. I said earth, air, fire, water. I think I said this in my last video the other day. Earth, air, fire, water. Earth wakens. The winds blow. There was just something that just happened with the wind blowing across from the Sahara or something like that. A lot of y'all sent that to me. Thank you for that, by the way. And I don't know if that's rare or what. Oh, I got to tell you, winds. Think of wind and my students, especially some of y'all are in my Patreon platform right now. I told you all about the elements and the archangels and all that. Think of the wind, Archangel Raphael, and the elemental spirits of wind. They fly, most of them. They fly like the butterflies. And did you hear, my friend just told me this morning, and I didn't look it up. Did you hear about the invasion of the black crows on the Walmart stores in Texas? Can somebody validate that for me in the YouTube chat room? Actually, or one of my Patreon people on the Zoom platform, if you can send me something about that. Like I didn't get a chance to look it up today because I was bombarded by other life stuff. But yes, it wasn't right away. It was earlier. It was a couple months ago. But, and then you all heard about the locusts by now. The locust is in the book of Revelation. I had somebody put that on my YouTube comments too. Oh, the Bible doesn't have prophecy, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but just like be quiet. Zip your mouth. I studied prophecy since I was 17, 16 years old. There's prophecy in the Bible. It even talks about the flying vehicles that look like locusts, helicopters. Hello. And it's just fact. You gotta look at the right Bible, and you gotta look at the Old Testament is where you gotta go. Can't look at the new Bible and how many times it's been changed and altered. But the locusts, I don't know anybody out there that's Christian that's watching and grew up Catholic like I did. We know the story about the locusts in Egypt, you know, and how the locusts came across Egypt and devoured everything. Well, the locusts just came across India and are devouring everything. And this is the year, and you know, when I lived in New Jersey, it was every 7 years because me and my first partner were there when the locusts come out. And it's interesting, like what can possibly go underground and live for 7 years and then come out every 7 years? I think that's fascinating, but I'll never forget it as long as I live. The whole side of our house was completely covered in locusts for months. I would walk outside on the telephone with somebody and they'd be like, oh my God, what's that sound? I'm like, it sounds like a horror movie, don't it? Well, I didn't know that there were also specific locusts that only come out every 20 years on top of it. And this is the year they're coming out. India is being flooded by the locusts. Walmarts are being flooded by the black crows. And I'm not going to get into my story about the black raven. My students know and graduates know. Turkey news ratting on Hollywood pedos. I just happened to see that out of the corner of my eye. And they blocked your comment, which is interesting there. Disappeared very quickly. But anyway, yeah, moving on. What happened? Damn you, YouTube. Damn you, YouTube. Okay, moving right along. Okay. Yeah, locust, all that. So that's in the prophecies I learned from the indigenous natives and the Hopi natives. Infestation from insects, infestation. It's happening. It's starting to happen. This is the year it begins to happen. 2020, folks. This is the year. We are in, someone's like, when we get to 2025, are we getting, folks, we're in it. We've been in it for a while. I'm thinking it started in 2017, January. It's when we began to step into it. I mean, look at the Middle East. Look at everything that's been wiped out. And we're going to talk about the Middle East in a minute, too. FEMA camps. FEMA camps. So this was really supposed to be more towards a later video, though, to talk about the fall in October, November. But I actually, a couple of my friends, I said, like, can you please make sure that you're out here and you get your ass out into Sedona to stay with me by November 1st, before the election, before the chaos kicks off? Because being in your cities, and again, going into fear is not going to do you any good. So don't even like go into fear, folks. It's not going to do you any good. Being prepared, having 3 months worth of food handy, alternative form of cooking that food, candles for lighting, flashlights for lighting, and protection to make sure you can protect your family from the psychos. Because I said it, beginning of the year, I come up with a new label every year. Excuse me, I said the crazy is going to go crazier like never before. That's exactly what's happening. And those that aren't really considered crazy are going to begin to go crazy. Sorry, got a message that was important. Is my little Miss Hannah here? Yeah, there she goes. That's your mama. Your mama's texting me, kid. So FEMA camps. If you don't know about FEMA camps, folks, and especially in the United States, you know, there's one in Alaska that holds 1 million people, and they call them FEMA camps. What do you think these camps are for? They are concentration camps. Do you remember about the caskets that were found on the farmland years ago when Obama was president, that he ordered and paid to put on this property? Caskets that hold 3 to 4 bodies each. When it got out into the internet and went viral, the government went in and took them all out. The guillotines that were ordered by the United States government, and they didn't have no excuse as to why. Oh no, that's not what they are. Oh no, they're not caskets. But they never really answered what they were. Why is the government paying this farmer to put this stuff on his land instead of him being able to farm vegetables or food? And if you don't believe it, I mean, I know a lot of my followers already know about it. We talked about it years ago. I talked about the FEMA camps when they were taking the little Walmarts and transforming them into cages inside and blocking it off. And they remained empty for years. When people talked about it, and we were all called conspiracy theorists. When all of this happened with the president, Trump becoming president, with the whole immigrants coming over from Mexico and throwing all those kids into a camp, into prison cages. Do you know where that was, right? In Texas? Old Walmart stores that were converted into FEMA camps. Just saying. They were built during the Obama administration. Some of these, those kinds, the ones in Walmarts, in his early administration. Prior to that, they were done in Baby Bush's administration. Little Baby Bush, who's the devil, and his daddy's the big devil. Look it up, folks. It's true. Do you think that they did all this and planned all this for no reason whatsoever? You think they're building these underground bunkers for no reason whatsoever? No. You know, we didn't pass. People are like, oh, well, we passed that point and, you know, things changed. Yeah, things changed, but we didn't pass that point. It's still here. It's still that point in time. Just saying. Now, again, don't go into fear. Wholeheartedly, I can tell you that good's going to win in the end. And in order to awaken the masses, people are hard to wake up, folks. You know it as much as I do. That's what you're here for. Most of you are here because you're good, dedicated followers, especially y'all that have been listening to me for a decade or longer. You know, people, shit, you can like pour ice cold water on them and light their feet on fire and they won't wake up. We need to wake up the masses. It's happening. Started this year with the waking up the man. Actually, it started when Donald Trump became president, actually. That's when people really started to wake up. Like, holy crap, really? Yeah. Just that time period. Again, not just the United States. I'm talking about worldwide. People started to wake up. Look at the whole thing with China. China. There we go. China is about to endure some major karma as to the whole world. Actually, you can't just blame it on China. The whole world's about to experience a major karma, and China is going to be one of them. That whole disease bug thing that's going on, that came from there. We know it did, and we can't just blame it on them and the Chinese communist government, because the communist government there is the communist government here, and the communist government in Canada, and the communist government in UK, and everywhere. They're hidden everywhere. The darkness had taken power in political states worldwide. That's why we got to the point that we're at. This is why you struggle to pay your bills. This is why you can't afford to put your kid in college, or your kid can't afford to go to college for themselves. For kids, when they were younger, they could work and go to college. This is why we have war and famine, disease throughout the world. They've been planning this for a very, very long time. And that takes me to the Middle East and Israel. And Netanyahu, or whatever the hell you pronounce Netanyahu. Did I say his name right? I can never say his name right. Need some coffee. Netanyahu. I'm sorry, I know I'm saying it wrong. I got it close enough, though. That man is downright evil. What they do to the Palestinian people is downright evil. And it has nothing to do with Jewish people, so don't even go there, because you can't say anything about anything, because then you're a racist or you're anti-Semitic and all that. No, it has nothing to do with that. I have Jewish friends. I have Black friends, Latino friends. Has to do with the Zionist Jews. They're dark, they are evil, and they're the ones that are responsible for all of it. You can find the heart of the Luciferian, all that evil within the Zionist Jews, and Netanyahu is one of the top. And he's about to fall, because they are doing dark things to the Palestinian people and surrounding areas. And Iran's going to step in and start to say something. They probably already are, but they're not telling us, because there's so much chaos in this country that they don't want you to know what's going on in that country. But the crap's going to hit the fan when it comes to the Middle East, in the areas of Iran, Palestine, Israel, that whole area. It's about to go crazy. It's about to go berserk. Let's just hope, in the case of the whole world and United States, because it seems like Donald Trump's up their butt, as a lot of presidents were, because again, they control everything. You think it's the United States, you think it's China, you think it's that. It's there. It's right there in Israel. It's where our Lord Jesus Christ came from. That's where it all is hard. Hey, what a better place to create the evil and the darkness than be the place where Jesus Christ was. Just saying. And nothing against religion, by the way, because Jesus does exist. Jesus is real. So is the Blessed Mother, because I've seen her and I've had witnesses and I've had experiences with that. That's real. But the formed religion, that's enslavement. I know a lot of people ain't going to like that, but too bad. The truth is the truth, and people can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. So, yeah. What else? Oh, Biden. Joe Biden. Oh, what's his name again? I forgot already. Sorry, a little humor. Who is Joe Biden going to pick for his running mate? He probably forgot already. He probably came up with it and forgot already. Poor guy. I actually feel bad for him. I got to tell you, and I didn't believe this once upon a time about what I'm going to say, just like I didn't believe in the reptilians once upon a time. When I first learned about that through David Icke, actually, I was like, oh, he made that crap up to sell books. And then I did my research and all that and delved in it through meditation and all. And, oh, no, yeah, they're real. Oh, they're very real. Same with what I'm about to say about Biden. That's not Joe Biden. I'm telling you, he's a clone. I'm telling you, he's a friggin' clone. They cloned him. Notice how he changed and shifted, and he wasn't as bad as he was before. And I don't even know. One of my friends told me that, and she told me that, then it's true. Yeah, that's what they do. They clone people. They take the bad one that they think is bad, and they clone them. He wasn't doing what they needed him to do, and therefore they cloned him. Either that, or he took some adrenochrome and became healed already overnight. But now I'm telling you, that's not him. It's just not him. I look up there and I saw him last time. I'm like, that is not him. I don't know who that man is, but that is not him. They did the same thing, like at Jeffrey Epstein. They did a clone of him and killed the clone. If you look at the pictures in the video of him laying down in the casket or whatever, how they took him out of the hospital, That's not him that they took out of there. That's either a look-alike or somebody else. But I said from the beginning, he got out of that. They're all so dark and so in it together, like family. They help each other. Earthquakes, Death Valley, deserts. Deserts came up a lot to me. I'm in the desert. But Death Valley, of all places, came up to me. I thought that was weird. I thought it was weird. For me, it was weird. Death Valley, California. I didn't get a chance to look that up on a map, but Death Valley, California. I wrote quakes. You probably can't say it. I wrote quakes, and then I wrote Death Valley, California. And then I wrote news real big. I'll get to that in a second. So again, I told you about earthquakes and Mother Earth shaking things up. We all know that the West Coast is going to get a tsunami eventually. They've been talking about this since I was a little kid, and I'll be 50 in September. So it's not that's not coming yet, and it's not going to both happen at the same time. But I'm pretty sure, again, it's going to happen. And it's not just going to be Mother Earth doing it. It's going to be them and their weather control, how they do it, especially the one on the East Coast with New York. What a better place to wipe out the United States and the freedom of Americans and liberty and justice for all. Wipe out where all the immigrants came in. So I don't know about y'all, but my grandparents, my great-grandfather came into New York City. Now, on my grandmom's side, on my dad's side, they actually came in on the Mayflower, which partially makes me want to vomit. Because they had a lot to do with what happened to the indigenous people. But again, it is what it is. It wasn't me. It was ancestors, awful ancestors that did that. And they would change it all if they could. But that's why they're coming in with the United States being hit in New York City. So I guarantee you, when that happens, in New York City, underwater, and you're all like, holy crap, he was right. Going back to 2009, that's not going to be a natural event. That is going to be a caused event, just like Fukushima and the tsunami and all that happened in Japan on March 11th, 2011, which was a 4-year now that I think about it. In numerology, in March 3, that would be a 7, 11. We got the 11s, which is a 6. So I wonder when they're going to try that again. You know, it could be this year. I'm telling you, November is going to be something else. I wrote news in all big capital letters. And this is why. It has to do with the fake news. I told you, this cycle is about bringing the truth out. It's all about not being able to lie anymore. When that whole collusion thing, these are just examples, by the way. The whole collusion thing, and I said it in the beginning, I'm like, that wasn't the way they're telling you it happened. It's a lie. Collusion with somebody else who didn't make it and is a poor loser. That's why we need to be really aware of Russia, because Russia and China can really put a job on the entire world. Like I said, they take down America, they take down the world. All freedoms, all rights. They get their one world government and their new world order. So news in all capital letters tells me that the truth about the fake news, and it's been coming out for years. So I can hear a lot of you already. Oh, what do you mean? He talked about it in the elections, pre-elections. No, I mean, they're going to get caught again like they did before. Because y'all might not remember, maybe you're not aware of this, but when they were having the terrorist attacks over in Paris and all, I think it was MSNBC. I think it was MSNBC. They made a claim about somewhere else being a terrorist attack in a restaurant or something, and they put pictures up, and they got caught using the same pictures from Paris. They got caught. They get caught all the time. That's going to happen again. But this time it's going to happen on a much larger scale, because I'm sure a lot of you are here right now and you're like, I don't remember that. There you go. This is the awakening. This is wave 2 of the 3 waves this year. Hold on tight. We haven't even hit that wave until July 4th. I also wrote, anger. Yeah, so that's the other thing. This brings up a lot of anger. It brings up a lot of hatred. It brings up those things that people are resistant to clear. So, example, somebody might be total homophobic and really out, like they did in Stonewall, New York, when they destroyed, and went after the gay people. I know from personal experience of people that are like extremely gay, homophobic, and gay haters or lesbian haters is because they're a closet case. That is actually a fact. Without a doubt, that's a fact. That's just an example again. This stuff's coming up. So the hatred's coming up. Some of it's from people's ancestry. So people that might be racist against black people or white people or whatever. It doesn't mean that they were necessarily, obviously, because they're not black and in the closet. That would be silly. But it goes back to their ancestry and the hatred there. So that's where the closet aspect comes in with the racism, big time. So, you know, right? Stop video. There you go. So we're going to see a lot of anger and chaos. And I know you're seeing it already. We're seeing it in the United States. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but you're going to see it. And you're going to see it really soon. Again, Germany pops up in my head again. The whole problems with Japan and Hong Kong fighting for their freedom, their rights, begging. Crowds and protesters before the whole virus thing, begging the president of the United States to help them with their freedom, begging them. The United States, again, being smart, you don't want to mess with China. You'll cause a world war that'll be nuclear. So that's all coming back up again. It's probably, and again, I don't pay attention to the news. It might be coming up right now. The other thing is India and China. And this is where the locusts come in with the locusts across India that I mentioned. The locusts coming across in India, I'll have to go look it up online to see where they come from, because there was videos earlier in the year about locusts. But again, India, when I heard that, I'm like, that makes total sense to me. Remember, there's a depopulation agenda, a big depopulation agenda. Who has the biggest populations? India and China. But China is a big part of the communist control. They are the example of what they want for the world. The Illuminati's the example, not China's example, but the Illuminati's example. That's what it is. So with that, big problems between China and India. But something else just came up to me, not Japan. Pakistan came up to me a lot too. And I think Pakistan goes back to the whole thing with Israel, Iran, that whole thing. That's about to spark. It's about to spark big time. And I don't necessarily feel like it's all going to be a bonfire spark right away. It'll be a spark that starts a big fire, and that's happening. And what I'm feeling from Spirit, it's happening already. So I don't know what's going on over there in Israel and all, but it's happening already. That explosion of fire will really ignite like never before come the fall season, right before the elections. We're talking the end of September into early October. Or the end of October, I'm sorry, right before we get into November. But maybe actually the end of September too. So remember that, especially the 22nd of October, 22nd of September, which happens to be my birthday. September, not October. I am not no Libra or Cancer. Thank goodness I'm not. I have enough problems with the Virgo. So anger, chaos. This is the other thing. I saw mass shootings. And I know there's shootings happening, again, here in the United States and other places. But I saw mass shootings. That's so good. I saw mass shootings. And I saw people on rooftops. It reminded me sort of what happened in Las Vegas with the shooter out the window, which again was a lie. That was CIA was because of that mass shooting in Las Vegas. It reminded me of that. Now, that was supposedly out of a window. So if it made me think of that and reminded me of that, and I know firsthand that was the CIA and all, and they were actually shooting out of helicopters. Again, do your research before you jump into believing or not believing. Or tune into Spirit and ask Spirit. It reminded me of that. So it would make me think that Illuminati have a plan to do mass shooting. But mine on my page is plural, mass shootings. The Eiffel Tower came up again. Paris. Kind of reminded me of the terrorist attacks and how Paris got all shut down because of that. So these mass shootings will come in threes like everything. So United States was one of them. I guess now Paris is another one, France. I'm not sure where the third one is. Maybe it goes back to Germany. But mass shootings. And it's going to be in the same area where there's mass riots. So I know that we all know there's mass riots going on in the United States. I'm not sure about the rest of the world because, again, I don't pay attention to the news. Where you see mass rioting is where you're going to see mass shootings. And I see, again, part of this, I saw many people on the roofs. It reminded me of Los Angeles back then. Remember back when Los Angeles had those riots? I think it was in the 90s, 92. I remember the business owners in Chinatown. I think it was Chinatown. I'm pretty sure it was Chinatown. On the roofs of the buildings with rifles and shotguns protecting their businesses. It reminded me of that, except I could not be remembering correctly. It was a long time ago. I don't remember the Chinese in Los Angeles and in California shooting anybody. They might have shot, but I don't know about people being killed. Maybe there were. I really don't remember. But it reminded me of that. It made me think back to that time period. I was younger. And it made me think of that. But what I saw was on a bigger scale and more planned. And it reminded me of something like Antifa or any group, not KKK, the Antifa, whatever. It was a group that's, well, KKK's right away. Bad energy, bad light. People are torn between Antifa. Antifa is a higher group from George Soros, and it is a part of the Illuminati. Everything that's going on with these riots in the United States and other places around the globe, it's all connected to that. So it reminds me of that, a group like that, maybe a counter group that's set up. And this is how less than smart people are. They'll go and get signed up to be a part of George Soros' little groups to cause chaos in certain areas to reach their agenda. But he's a sick mother Fletcher. Really sick mother Fletcher. And he's going to hire separate groups that are going to be the counter groups, the counterattack groups, to go up on the roofs and act like they're defending something like America. And they're going to act like snipers. They're going to come in and start wiping people out. That was one of the visions I had. And I'm thinking, again, that some of this is coming up now. I know this is happening in November. We're not even going to talk about that. Let's get through July 1st. We'll talk about November later in October. This is July. And I see that happening. California comes up a lot. Because California, people are fleeing and running from California like crazy. So that's one of the areas. But New York City, a lot of it's New York City. New York City is going to see destruction as if it's a war. And that's what I said earlier about bombs, car bombs, things blowing up in threes again, just like I said with the other shootings and stuff. In threes, bombs blowing up. One of them being a car bomb in a government building to make the government look bad. Again, it's all an attack on the government, the political structures that are in place. And I agree, the political structures need to come down. The way they're going about it is just absolutely evil. Dark. Doesn't need to be. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, going back to Washington, D.C., it was the first thing I wrote down on this. I kind of skipped it like 3 times. The obelisk, that obelisk thing, you know, in front of Washington, D.C. Yeah, I saw that. A video kind of went viral with the storm that happened in Washington, D.C., I guess about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, with the lightning striking the top of the obelisk that sits in near the White House in Washington, D.C. First of all, stand there for any lightning storm. There's a lightning rod at the top of that. When I saw it, I'm like, are these people serious? And they're like trying to make it look like, oh my God, that's the gods striking down on Washington, D.C. I can't help but to laugh about that. There's a lightning rod at the top of it to channel the energy so that it doesn't get hit by lightning. If that got hit by lightning the way we saw it in the video, which was really cool, I must say, the whole damn top of it would have blew up. And, being it went viral was a video. Sure, it could be symbolic. But I bet you if you go back and look at history in videos, you'll find tons of videos with lightning striking the obelisks in Washington, D.C. Well, regardless, I saw something happen with that obelisk, like it being taken down, like literally taken down. Not by lightning, but taken down. Lots of things in Washington, D.C. are going to be taken down. To me, it more reminds me of almost like a car vehicle driving into it, but that thing's huge. I don't think you can knock it down with just that. Maybe that's where the bomb comes in. One of the bombs or blow-ups comes in. Because the explosions that I see, things blowing up, one of them is against, again, government buildings and such, and definitely trying to kill as many as possible. But a lot of the bombs that I see blowing up are actually symbolic of taking things out, taking down the statues, taking down symbology. It's all about taking down America. We see it in Washington, D.C. We've seen it in New York and Philadelphia. Things haven't even striked as big as they're going to be in Philadelphia. Statue of Liberty, all that. So we ain't seen nothing yet, folks. The chaos and the craziness has only just begun. Wait until we get till July 4th and July 5th on the East Coast. So with that, I talked a lot. My dog's got to pee. And I got to talk to my Patreons and my people for a minute. So all y'all that are moving forward with yourselves, because I talked about pretty much everything prediction-wise, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to subscribe down below. Visit my website at josephtittel.com. I just wanted to browse through the comments real quick. First, at Patreon, or my Zoom platform for my Patreons. Hey, girls, and wait, where did hey, where'd Brandon go? Oh, there's Brandon. Okay, just making sure everybody's there. Washington Monument. Thank you for that, Maggie. I don't know why I couldn't get the name Washington Monument out of my mouth. But yeah, the Washington Monument on DC. There we go. Oh, that's too much light. There we go. Yeah, that is an obelisk. That is correct. Did you know that there's an obelisk in every city in the United States? There's one in, what do you call it? New York City's Central Park. There's one right in the center of Central Park. As a matter of fact, there's an underground city right below that, which is true fact. It's where all our water comes in. It's very well and highly protected. That obelisk in Central Park in New York City was brought in from ancient Egypt. Again, Illuminati, ancient Egypt. That's where they bring it from. So yeah, there's a obelisk from ancient Egypt in Vatican City, right in the center of the Vatican, outside in St. Peter's Square. So there's a lot of things people don't know where these obelisks belong. But that would make sense. And taking that down would be very symbolic in my mind of taking down the Illuminati. Yeah, that's like they took down Abraham Lincoln. And it just blew my mind, especially BLM, taking down Abraham Lincoln. Realize, folks, that Abraham Lincoln is a reason why slavery doesn't exist anymore? Like, hello? I'm all about, like, Andrew Jackson, total racist. Fine. They should take those statues down and put them in a museum. But you're going to take down Abraham Lincoln? Like, I was kind of shocked and a little upset about that one. So there we go. Cleopatra's obelisk. I didn't know there was one specifically called Cleopatra's obelisks. I know there's obelisks everywhere because obelisks in ancient Egypt were how they did free energy, that in which Tesla created and invented free energy. One of the reasons that they took him out and took all his stuff. He knew everything. Rooftop Koreans. What do you mean by that, Ophelia? Rooftop Koreans. Is there something going on in Korea with them on rooftop? Are you talking about New York City? I mean, not New York City, Washington, D.C. Probably. Shooters on the roof. Yes. And this was, again, it reminded me of Las Vegas mass shooting, but that was out of a window. And I didn't see it. I saw it on a roof. Whereas when I predicted the Las Vegas shooting, and I did say Vegas in that prediction that year, I said high up, as if it's on a rooftop. And come to find, again, there's witness reports of helicopters, silent helicopters, because black ops are silent. Just again, through research and checking things out. Just got to kind of look at things and check them out. I had a vision myself of my house safe from roof, and you mentioned it earlier. Oh, keeping your house safe on the roof. Oh, I got you, Brandon. So you had a vision of that. Yeah, you know, I know I'm about to, I have a gun and ammo and all, but as soon as things shift and I get out of where I'm at here, I will definitely be getting a whole new, different piece. And I'm like, was always anti-gun. I just never liked them. I liked to shoot them when I was younger, but, you know, they're dangerous for people. People don't know how to keep them safe, but I'm not at that point. I'm at that point now where we need to make sure that we're just protecting ourselves and our family. They're going to extend the $600 unemployment. Are they going to extend $600 or offer something similar? Good luck with that. because that whole stimulus package, people like me to have a business, and because I moved, I didn't get anything. And it's just not fair. All the money that I put into taxes as a business and all, they didn't give me a dime. I went online, tried to figure it out. I even filled out forms, and they kept saying, no, you're not eligible. I mean, what do you mean I'm not eligible? I pay taxes. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. I know that the president's going to try to extend it. That's the other thing I tell you folks, have things like gold, silver, and things that are of physical value, and come September, make sure that you have some sort of cash on your hand. Now, because ATMs, I mean, come on, look at, they're blowing them up all over the United States, blowing up them damn ATMs. I said it again years ago, a new monetary system's going to go into place. And I thought it would have been here by now. The whole chipping and putting the chip in you. Yeah, it's a whole nother video separately. But they're going to try to do that. There's a coin shortage, right? A coin shortage? You mean like real silver and real gold coins, I would imagine. Because that happened back in March and April, that the gold bullion companies totally ran out. Totally ran out. So yeah, totally. I agree. Because of the bug. Absolutely, I agree. Let me just peek into Facebook or YouTube for a moment. My YouTube people. You didn't get anything either, Billy? Yeah, it's kind of messed up, right? It's really messed up. So you know what I did? As of this year, stopped paying. You're not going to give me what I deserve and what I pay for, and I put so much money into, and you're not going to give me like my stimulus check. I'm American. I deserve it just as much as everybody else does. I pay taxes. I probably pay more taxes. People in business pay more taxes, which is ridiculous. So you know what? Good. I'll just keep your money and I won't pay you. So that's where I got. I couldn't anyway. I needed it. So that's where I got there, Billy. That's what I would do. But it's all going to change anyway. It's all going to shift. So it ain't going to be worse shit anyway. So why not do away with it? Divine timing is everything. Yes, I agree there, Lisa. Absolute divine timing. Hello again, Hannah. You're so cute. Will we ever move? Come on, kid. You're like my little niece. Of course you will. Hopefully by the end of this, by September. Let's see what happens. Miracles happen, kid. I got here. Look how fast I got here. We'll get you here. No worries. Guns don't attract violence. I agree, Debbie. They protect from violence. Just like people are like, guns kill people. No, people kill people, actually. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Guns do kill kids from people who don't know how to put guns into safe, locked places from kids. So no, that's all bullshit. Oh, I call bullshit. Isn't that a game? Yeah, it is a game. Yeah, totally. Guns cause violence. Why are they trying to strip everybody's guns from the United States, where if you go over Europe to England and you're not allowed to have guns? Our cops don't even have guns. Control, folks. Our founding fathers said that you take away the guns, you take away your freedom, you take it away at all. Look at those people, and I forget what state it was in, that the protesters literally broke through the gates of a private community, rioted through the streets, and a white couple who are rich, had money, they worked hard for it, so you got to give them that, were outside their mansion protecting it with guns. And every newsletter said at the title, white people with guns, white people with guns. That's just wrong. They were protecting their house and they have every freaking right to. Because I guarantee you, if that happened here, I would be standing right out in front of my house with a gun. Well, actually here I wouldn't, because I rent this house at the moment, so I'd be sitting in my house with a gun with the window open, like, yeah, go ahead and try. We have a right to protect our property and what's ours. They broke through the gates of a private community. They have all the right to protect it. Don't care what color they are, white, black, pink, purple, yellow, it doesn't matter. But the media made it look like they were elite, high, wealthy, white people out there acting crazy with guns to protesters. Yeah, it just blows my mind. Blows my mind what the media does. Yeah, you all seen it on the news, I'm sure. And again, whatever news outlet you watch on, what did they say? Rich, crazy white people with guns out in public. They'll tell you that they were protecting their house, and they have all the right to do so. All the right to do so. But that's where I said people on the roofs with guns and stuff. which could also be metaphorically that there's people on roofs with guns throughout. But again, the whole Soros with hiring this group to cause these riots and all is going to do the same and do a counterattack with people that he also, funds with money. Because let's face it, especially in times like this, people will take the money and go be crazy. And then when they're out there being crazy, they attract more crazy. Put out a dozen crazy people out there protesting and making noise, and eventually they're going to get 24 other people to join in with them. That's what you have happening. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So I think I must move on. Mob guns. Mob, yeah, right. The mob have guns. But they get a pass. It's so true though. They always got to mention in race, not mentioning the race of the violent mobs. Yeah, right. Ain't that the truth? But you know what? And the same thing though. Even if with the BLM out there group or the Antifa, there's white people in there too. White people out there, and there's all races out there doing it. All supposed to be out there. Defund your police. Anybody out there, and I hope none of you are watching this video because you are, just please move on with yourself. Did you think defunding the police is a good idea? Yeah. I can't wait till you have to call the police and they don't come to your door. I really can't wait till that happens. If you're going to be there, I hope they defund wherever you live first. And I hope the protesters come ripping down your house so that you can have to call the police. Like that woman that was in the car with her 3-year-old daughter. And the protesters were jumping all over the car, beating on it, and she called the police. And then what the police told her, you need to call and complain and take your message to City Hall. She has a 3-year-old in the car. The protesters are beating on her car. You can hear them, and she's crying. You hear the kid crying, calling the police. Oh, sorry, ma'am, we can't help you, but please call City Hall. Maybe they'll help you. What the F is that? See, this is where we're going. And that's what happens, especially, and that was a state run by the Demis who made a rule that the police ain't allowed to interfere. I saw another video of these people running through the streets, shooting each other, shooting at stuff with guns like crazy. And the cops just drive right on through and don't even stop. I can't blame them. You can't blame them. I wouldn't blame them. If I was a cop, I'd do the same thing. Why? You want to defund me? You want me to help you? Yeah, not smart, folks. Not smart at all. That's like, okay, if we're going to defund the police, how about we defund the paramedics and ambulances? How about we defund the hospitals? So that when your father or mother has a heart attack and you need an ambulance because you don't have a car because you got a flat tire, yes, let's see how that works for you. Or, somebody in your household has a heart attack and you call an ambulance and they can't get through the protesters and the cops won't help. I mean, think about it. I don't know who the hell comes up with this stupid crap to defund the police. And that first one they defunded, by the way, folks, is yeah, exactly. Dumbass is divine. I agree. They I think in California, what the first ones that they defunded in law enforcement? The child trafficking ring police, the detectives that do child trafficking and go after child trafficking and molestation. That was the first one at the top of the list to be defunded. Matter of fact, I think actually, see if I can find the text message from Brother Barry. There he is right there. Is that it? What's this? Oh, that's not it. I know he sent this to me before. I can't read and do this at the same day. Nope, that's not it. I know I have it somewhere. Maybe it's in my email. Yeah, one of the first ones that actually it was Sister Kirsten. There it is. June 27th, 2020. Defunding the LASD budget of $145.4 million. So the budget was announced in the county CEO, Sasha Hamai, you're an idiot, targeted specifically to hurt public safety in Los Angeles County. Los Angeles is where all the pedophiles really live rampant. It's where all your celebrities and all your Hollywood scum live. And they totally took out $141.5 million of child trafficking and child abuse. Right away, right at the top, first thing they defunded, $145 million. Tell me that ain't effed up. Even the thought of it makes me want to effing vomit right now. Ray, how can I get a private reading? You can go to the website, josephtittel.com, and you can email the office 2 to 3 weeks out as far as bookings. So, you know, oh, wait, light covers action. So anyway, with that, just check on my Patreon people. Our schools are now asking us what we think they should do. Do you feel that children should go back to school in the fall? Absolutely, children should go back to school in the fall. But they're not going to, I told you that in my other videos with the virus videos I did. That's the whole point. Kids ain't going to go back to school at all this year. And if they do, it's going to be very temporarily, and they'll pull them right back out, and they'll be right back in your house on house arrest. Except this house arrest is going to be even more, because it's not just going to be because of a virus. It's going to be because of the chaos that takes place. So I'm telling you, go out, stock up on food, folks. Stock up on at least 2 to 3 months worth of food, to the point of having everything in the house you need so that you don't have to run out for anything at all whatsoever. Mainly, especially if you're in big cities and near big cities. It's one thing, man, I am glad I'm far away from any big city, very far away from any big city, hours. Biggest city here is Flagstaff, and that's an hour away. I'm not even worried about that part of the globe. So the biggest one would be Phoenix. That's 2.5, 3 hours away. I'm not worried about it. So, you know, just be prepared. As long as you're prepared and you have the food and the water you need and you're protected for your family, then you have nothing to fear. That's it. You know, and put a boat on your roof just in case the water comes. No, that was a joke. In New York, you might want a ship at the top of the roof. Yeah, but I must leave you with that, folks. Thank you so much. I will be back in a few days. I thank all my people who have left. Let me go back. Chat money or chat donations. It means a lot to me. I didn't see anybody that did. It says it was, but I didn't see any names. I know Chris was one of them in the beginning. I forget what Chris asked. Let me see if I can find Chris's message. And make sure if you look down in the descriptions, you'll find links to all my pages, my Patreon, my Facebook, Face Bitches, Twitter, Instagrave, and here, you're terminated. All these places. But yeah, thank you all y'all that left any kind of donations through Super Chat bumper stickers or whatever they call them. I appreciate that. People who send donations through PayPal, I really appreciate that. It really means the world to me. You all mean the world to me. Again, don't forget to subscribe down below. Thank you so much for your time and energy this evening, all y'all there on YouTube. And now I'm going to switch over to my Patreon in a moment. But thank you so much. I love you all lots. Hang in there for July. Celebrate the freedom that you have, and celebrate the freedom that they took away and stripped from you. Because a whole nother level of freedom is going to come to this world over the next 7 years. So hold on tight. It's coming, folks. It's coming. And those that are asleep are going to wake up, or they ain't going to be here anymore. So until the next time, Spiritman Joseph Tittel here, signing off. And I'll see you again real soon within the next couple of days throughout. Namaste. Don't go, namaste.